We are at Lowe's. As you can see, they have a whole new display for all their nailer sales. They have Craftsman, Bosch, Bosch, Kobalt, Metabo, and of course their pneumatic Metabo. So they have for $139, they're a 23 gauge pin nailer. These are all pneumatic. $69 for their 18 gauge brad nailer. $319 for their 15 degree 3.5 inch coil roofing nailer. $329 for their 1 3/4 inch roofing nailer. $409 for their 15 degree coiling side nailer. $279 for their 2.5 inch MCN nailer. $279 for their 16 gauge 7 16 inch crown stapler. $289 for their 1.5 inch 18 gauge cap stapler. $279 for their 16 gauge flooring nailer. $119 for their 15 gauge angled finish nailer. $129 for their 16 gauge straight nailer. $119 for their 1/4 inch 18 gauge nail crown stapler. $229 for their 3.5 inch 30 degree framing nailer. $339 for the 3 1/4 inch Pro 21 degree framing nailer. And then $229 for their 21 degree round headed nail. So that is partial of what Metabo has. Then they have their voltage, their battery operated nailers. They have 309, which I think that's over here, and all of these are kits that include a 2 amp hour battery and a charger. They have for $389, 16 degree straight nailer. $389 for their 15 gauge angled diagonal nailer. Sorry, I'm stuttering for no reason, no clue why. $439 for their 21 degree round headed nail. $439 for the 30 degree clipped offset round headed nailer. That one comes, oh sorry, these two come with a 4 amp hour battery. $329 for their 1/4 inch narrow crown stapler, 18 gauge. $429 for their cordless roofing nailer. $219 for their 18 gauge narrow crown stapler. $309 for their cordless 18 gauge brad nailer. These are all new displays. I'm happy that there's new deals going on. $219 for their brad nailer, also 18 gauge. $259 for their 23 gauge pin nailer. $309 for their 18 gauge narrow, which one is just their 18 gauge brad nailer? Which I think we saw that one. $309, we did not see, yep, it's right there. Remember, all those are kits, but these two are for, have a 4 amp hour battery in them. The rest have 2 amp hour. $439 for their 21 degree nailer. Now Bosch has for $299 their 18 gauge brad nailer. I think that these ones are tool only. They might have a BOGO deal. We'll find out about that. Where you get a free battery and charger with that. I'll find out in this video. $349 for their 16 gauge angled nailer. $349 for their 18 volt crown stapler. $349 for their 15 gauge finish nailer. Kobalt has for $179 their 23 gauge pin nailer. These are tool only, I think, as well. $199 for their 18 gauge brad nailer. $99 for their 3/8 inch heavy duty stapler. $329 for their 30-degree clipped round-headed nailer. $329 for their 21-degree round-headed nailer. $249 for their 16-gauge straight nailer. Then they have for $439. They have their 21-degree nailer. That has a 4 amp hour battery. I think that one is as a kit. We'll find, I think those are all tool only. But DeWalt actually has more stuff over here. Oh, I'm sorry, we actually completely missed a new section. Now, Craftsman and Bosch, they have $99 for their palm nailer bare tool. $149 for their 23 gauge pin nailer, brushless RP. $159 for their 18 gauge brad nailer. $189 for their 18 gauge 1/4 inch narrow crown stapler. $78.98 for their 3/8 inch heavy duty stapler. $399 for their 30-degree clipped headed nailer. That is brushless RP. $299 for their 21-degree round headed nailer. That is brushless RP as well. $219 for their 2.5 inch 16 gauge nailer. This one is 3.25 inch degree, 3.25 inch. $459 for this 30-degree framing nailer. Metabo has some hoses for $26.98, 1/4 inch by 50 foot. So yeah, like those are all new displays for a lot of nailers. Let's find out by Bosch. So if they have a display right here, see if they have something where you get a free battery with any nailers deals. I don't see anything on display, but they do have a price drop. $87.57 for the 1-inch SDS Plus Bulldog rotary hammer. Nothing on display for Flex. The only Kobalt or Craftsman for BOGO deals, only DeWalt at the moment. So DeWalt still has these deals going on. Might have saw a deal with a free stand and these, but they also have the M12 Extreme deal, which you get a free 5 amp hour M12 Extreme, just 12 volt Extreme battery. To get that battery, you got to get the 5 3/8 inch circular saw, 1/4 or 3/8 inch ratchet, the 3/8 inch drill driver as a kit with two 2 amp hour batteries charged in a bag, or the 2-tool combo kit, which is the 3/8" drill driver and the impact driver, 2 batteries, charger in a bag. If for any of those select purchases, you get a free 5 amp-hour 12-volt battery, so don't forget your free item. They have for $179 the brushless non-XR hammer drill as a kit with a 5 amp-hour battery, charger in a bag. $229 for 2 6-amp-hour batteries. $279 for their brushless hammer drill and the DCF 840 impact driver. 2 5-amp-hour batteries, charger in a bag. And then they have the 3-tool combo kit for $419. The brushless drill driver and impact driver and a 6.5-inch circular saw. 2 5-amp-hour batteries, a slide-on charger, and a bag. $419. And they also have this 12-inch 15-amp dual bevel sliding compound miter saw for $549. And you get a free miter saw stand with that, which that's valued at $249. So don't forget your free item. Powerful saw. $25.98, the 14-piece Elite Series Kobalt bit set. That's Kobalt with a C. $26.98 for the Elite Series 50-piece drive bit set. It does have a smaller case inside the bigger case. A couple of nut setters in there. $39.98 for the 100-piece drill and drive bit set. I do love these bigger cases. They have another one decked out in yellow. 2 smaller cases inside the bigger case. During the holiday season, these sell out quick. $39.98 for that. That's not a bad deal. But they also have this around $34.98 for the 110-piece 4-case combo set. This is also a fantastic deal. $29.98 for the 35-piece rapid load bit set with tough grip. This is a medium-sized case. $21.98 for the 40-piece drive bit set. It's $35. Yep. Was that 40? We already saw that. They do have for $31.48 the 2-piece right angled attachment. $31.48 in case if I misspoke. Or they do have a price drop for $30.77, was $38.48 for the 2-piece 1/4-inch square drive right angled attachment. And they also have the same thing in 3/8" square drive, so you could put a socket straight onto that instead of having to use an adapter. Not too shabby, save you some space. $59.98 for a 2-pack of their 10-inch 40-tooth and 60-tooth saw blades. $69.98 for a 2-pack of their 12-inch 40-tooth and 80-tooth saw blades, which they do have them in stock. $19.98 for the 55-piece drive bit set with tough grip. Smaller case inside the bigger case. $21.98 for their 16-piece wood and metal full-size reciprocating saw blades. And it does come in its own carrying case. I want to get a few more things if I can. I think I could squeeze in there. They have for $199, they have the 8-piece oscillating multi-tool as a kit. Battery, charger, bag, and a few accessories. $179 for the new XR impact driver. $129 for the cordless handheld vacuum. And $129 for their 1/4-inch sheet sander. Not too shabby. They do have their 9-gallon of 5 horsepower quiet vacuum for $139 and some filters for $26.98. Portable, 5 horsepower, 9-gallon, quieter. Before then, I do not know what they're comparing that to. Comes with some accessories. Then $649 for the 10-inch job site table saw. Not too shabby. Then they do have this XR 12-inch plunge double bevel sliding miter saw for $699. Does not come with batteries or a charger. $498, they have the DeWalt Elite Series 4.5 cutoff wheel. $798 for the 4.5-inch grinding wheel. And $1198 for the 4.5-inch 40 grit flap disc. $1698 for their 6.5-inch 24/2 saw blade, also from their Elite Series. $1398 for their 7.25-inch 24/2 saw blade, which they have these in stock. Yes, they do. That is the 6.5-inch. And then their 7.25. Already saw that. $29.98 for their 18-piece titanium drill bit set. $34.98 for their 3-pack of their 1.25-inch wood and metal oscillating blades. As they do have for $99 or $169. I'm going to assume that these are part of the stuff that we saw earlier in the video. They're 2-inch 18-gauge pneumatic brad nailer by Metabo, or $169 for their 2.5-inch 16-gauge pneumatic finish nailer. $19.98 for the 40-piece drive bit set by Bosch. It has an empty, smaller case inside the bigger case. And then $99 for their Impact Wrench Freak. That is also capable of putting regular bits inside that anvil, along with a socket. Love the innovation in that. That Freak anvil is not new. That's been out by Bosch for a while. Darn good tool. So DeWalt does have this BOGO deal going on. For their 20-volt system, they have, you get one of these tools, you get a free 5-amp-hour battery, which the battery by itself is $169, so don't forget your free item. They do have included the sliding miter saw, a drywall cutout tool, the full-size XR reciprocating saw, an angle grinder, 7.25-inch circular saw, 6.5-inch circular saw, job site speaker / radio, the drywall screw gun, the mid-range XR 1/2-inch impact wrench, They do have a ratchet. I think that is 3/8. The compact XR hammer drill and the trim router. So if you get any of those tools, you get a free 5 amp hour battery with that. And this expires October 19th of 2025. So this is going to be like a last call situation because the new deals will be coming out and I'm excited to see what they are. $39.98 for the 120 piece drill and drive bit set. Does have 2 smaller cases inside the bigger case, and this case is decked out all in yellow. $9.98 for their 7¼ inch 24/2 saw blade. $3.99 for their 10 inch 20 volt XR dual bevel miter saw. And then $6.99 for that one that we already saw, the 20 volt XR 12 inch dual bevel sliding miter saw. Still in stock. Then they have from Spider for $49.98 their 12 inch 82 saw blade. $9.98 they have their 6.5 inch 24/2 saw blade. $17.98 they have their 7¼ inch 60 tooth saw blade. And then $12.98 their 7¼ inch 42 saw blade. So these are still in stock, including the 12 inch 80 tooth. $129 for the Metabo 2.5 inch 16 gauge straight finish nailer. And $69 for their 2 inch 18 gauge brad nailer. Not bad. $15.98 your choice. They have a 6-piece of their SAE and metric socket set with a 3/4 inch, 3/8 inch to 1/4 inch adapter. $14.98 for their driving bit set. 35 piece. $99 your choice from Kobalt. They do have the brushless impact driver or drill driver in their own kits. Each kit comes with a 2 amp hour battery charger and a bag. Or they do have 2 4 amp hour batteries. It's all your choice. The 850 inch-pounds of torque for the drill driver and 2,000 inch-pounds of torque for the impact driver. 3,800 impacts per minute. And the last thing we're going to cover is this. They have for $239, they have the XR drill driver, compact for 2 4 amp hour batteries, charger in a bag. $239 for their XR impact driver. That's the new model. 1 4 amp hour battery, charger in a bag. $339 for their 2-tool combo kit, the XR compact hammer drill and the DCF 845 XR impact driver. 2 4 amp hour batteries, charger in a bag. Or they have the 4-tool combo kit for $449. Includes a 1.7 amp hour power stack battery, 5 amp hour XR battery, the compact XR hammer drill, XR reciprocating saw, the 887 XR impact driver, the work light, and a bag. $449 was $499. And there's plenty of stuff going on, and remember these deals are going to be gone soon, so sort of a last call situation. And Kobalt has their 6-gallon pancake compressor for $99. Price drop from $142. And yeah, so if you found this video helpful and entertaining, please like this video. Please hit the bell button to be notified of future videos, and please subscribe to the channel. This is Dave and Nicholas. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time.